Hello, today I'd like to tell you a little bit about CDKs and show you how it can be used to generate Kubernetes YAML or Kubernetes Helm charts. So, first of all, a little background. So, the AWS Cloud Development Kit, or CDK, is a toolkit you could use to do infrastructure as code, and it can generate and synthesize AWS CloudFormation templates. And you could do a CDK deploy instead of just synthesizing in CloudFormation template, and actually synthesize template and deploy it into AWS accounts. There's also, by the way, a CDK-TF, which can generate Terraform and Terraform templates in HCL. And you can do a synthesis of a template, or you can actually go and do a deployment with that. So there's CDK and CDK-TF. But today, I'm here to tell you about CDKs, which is based on that. And then we can go in and define things like pods, services, deployments, replica sets, and so on, Kubernetes resources using various supported programming languages. Let's go back to the top. So CDKs used to use the programming language APIs that are implemented in this software development kit and go and generate some content. So if we go into the CDKs documentation, navigate into this getting started here, there's also quite a lot of other topics you could go navigate, but I'm going to go to just getting started here. And then I'm going to choose a language. So we could do Python here, and will tell us how to go and do an install there with npm install cdk-cli there, and then create a project here, cdk init python-app, generate the baseline here. However, the example I want to show you now is in TypeScript rather than Java or Go. So in here, just make sure that we have installed the cdk-cli, which is npm install cdk-cli, and then we go and create a project and do cdk init typescript-app, and we get a baseline, which looks like this. All right. So let me show you that example first, and then I'll show you another example that's down lower in the documentation. Then I'll show you CDKs plus in a bit. All right. So it's popping over here to our friendly neighborhood shell. Go and just make a CDKs baseline. Just call this baseline here. Go navigate down into there and go and I've already installed CDKs. I'm going to do CDKs --help to show you the kind of thing that we can use here. And I'm going to do a CDKs init. And for the type there, I'm going to specify, instead of Python or Java or Go or some other cool programming language, I'm going to use TypeScript. So we can then do a CDK synth and synthesize Kubernetes manifest or Helm charts from what that describes. Here, I'm going to do a CDKs init and then TypeScript-app. This will initialize a project from that template. Here we have a few files, TypeScript configuration, JSON file there, but I'm going to go into the main.ts right here. So this is a baseline right here that we could use. And I'm going to go and I'm going to go do a CDKs synth to synthesize the results. It was already done up here, but just to show you the command there, synthesizing application, and it synthesized that out to a little distribution folder. So we could go and look at that, dist, and then CDKs baseline right here. There's nothing in it because we just had the boilerplate, the framework of a template here in the main.ts. So there were no actual Kubernetes resources that were described here. This is just the kind of wrapper around nothing. So let's take care of this. Now, I'm going to leave this project right here. And let's just go up and do a CDK init TypeScript-app in a different folder. Let's let's go and do mkdir cd-k8s without the hyphen baseline. Just go in there and then do again cd-k8s init typescript-app right there. So we got the same kind of thing. Once that completes, we can go look into the main.ts here, and I'm going to replace all of this. Let's take a look back at the docs. So this is the baseline that I get. So I'm going to go define resources, but I'm going to cheat here. I'm not going to type them from scratch. Sorry. But you could do this. You just go to the same documentation. Here's a link in the description of the video. And then pop on down here to use this structure defined down here. Here's an example right here. And this goes and says we're going to have construct an app and a kube deployment here, and go and then within here, we're going to make a new kube deployment, spec replicas 3. And so this is just in TypeScript notation here, JavaScript style. And down here, do an app.synth at the end here. They say there's a few things to note here about that. We can then go and run the cd-k8s synth here, and then go in and look in the dist folder and get a Kubernetes manifest like this. So this is the result we're going to get in just a moment. How do we do that? Once again, we don't just run kubectl deployment, dry run, and generate it that way. We're going to use code like this. Let's take a look. So back over here, just going to replace all this with what was in the docs there. So notice we have this Kubernetes manifest bit in the middle here. So that's really the new piece that brought in here. Use whatever container images you want, use whatever replica counts that you want, put different labels in here, map ports or other details in here. But you get to do it in your favorite programming language like Python or TypeScript or a couple others. Okay, that's the deal. So now I'm just going to save that. And we could go and do a diff between our main.ts and actually let's go up the cd-k8s baseline and up there a main.ts and then our own local one here. Actually, I'm going to put the curly brace here. Sorry, just changed my mind on how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put a dot there for good luck so you have a feel for what that really is. And then main.ts. Actually, I'm just going to remove that. So just our other main.ts there. So again, the boilerplate stuff was in both of these, few different, slightly different properties there, a few different imports in there. And then in here, we have these components right here. Oh, let me just check one thing. I just noticed something. I dropped an I there. Glad I did a diff there, so that told me what I had done wrong. So let's look at that again. So in here, yeah, so the first imports are just a little bit different right there. Not too much different. So we're going to do a cd-k8s synth, so to synthesize now a YAML manifest here. So we can go and take a look at that getting started k8s YAML here. So it's a Kubernetes manifest. That's it.